So this is Scott Osmundson doing my final podcast, and everything's failing already. So I'm just gonna read the questions and answer them how I personally feel. So question 1: group work. Please reflect on what you learned about how you work within a group. Well, so how I worked in my group is I had my own role. So we divided the work, and I was the leader of my own role, and people would come help me, and I would help people too, because when they're the leaders and they're of their roles, we would just work, and they'd tell us what to do. That's what I think our group did a lot. This is where you consider not only participate on a daily basis, but also on specific projects. What were your strengths? What were your weaknesses? My strengths were definitely my I guess organization, probably. How organized I guess I made it seem, or at least in my head, and then having to explain the organization process to my colleagues. So I felt like I did good with that, at least. And then I also input in my thoughts, which is not a weakness. That's definitely a strength. I think that'd be it. Other than I worked really hard on these specific projects this summer. I think those would be my strengths. My weaknesses would be my knowledge, my lack of knowledge. I'm not nearly as smart as any of the kids in the class at all. Or should I say young adults? I don't know. I'm only 15. So that definitely had an effect on the outcome. But I would say other weaknesses, let me think. I guess the other weaknesses is not taking initiative when I should have. Not stepping up to be the leader of something that no one knew how to do. I would say Coulter did the best at that. When no one knew what to do, he would always be the one that would step up and be the leader of that project. What are 3 things you can do in the future to help you improve the way you work within a group? I guess to be more confident in my ability, and even though that if I make the wrong mistake, I should be responsible, or I should at least know to be careful when I'm leading a group that I don't know what to do, to make sure that if things do go wrong, we can still be on the right track. Another thing would be, I guess, to not be so reliant on the other people. No, that sounds bad, but like, it's your grade too, and if I wanted to take more time, which I totally could have, I could have helped them input my thoughts into what they were doing and not just do my own thing and hope that they did what they were expected of them. I don't know, that's kind of cold-hearted, but that's what I think would improve the group and the way I work with it. The last thing, I guess, would be probably to just put more effort into what I did and put more thought into the planning and the organization, because it wasn't perfect. It was totally makeshift. But if I would have done that, the group would have been more successful in noticeable ways. So that's all for group work. Oral communication. Please consider how you communicate orally, either within your group or within a classroom or a one-on-one setting. In which environment are you most effective? Where are you the weakest? Why? The environment I'm most effective is, I would say, all of them. I don't know, oral communication was never a big problem for me. I felt it was drag and it was kind of annoying, but I would mostly do oral communication within a group classroom or even in a one-on-one setting. I mean, unless I wasn't forced to, I guess I would do, unless I wasn't forced to in a one-on-one setting, I would do whatever that me and the other guy were supposed to do. I bet I could just do it by myself. I don't think it's that hard, but if we were forced to, I could do it just fine. I wouldn't say the weakest would be within a group or classroom. I would say the weakest would definitely be in one-on-one when I'm not forced to communicate, because in my head it's just not worth it, at least. What can you do to overcome these weaknesses? I actually have the desire to want to work with someone else, which sometimes I do. I definitely do it sometimes when I don't feel like doing anything. When I don't feel like doing as much work, I would definitely communicate with my partner or whoever I can to help me. At least I'm pretty good about that, but it's just if it's something I like to do, like tech and stuff like that, I'd usually do it by myself. But if it's something else like art or like some weird English class, I would definitely have a partner with me. I wouldn't say I have anxiety. The only place I'd have anxiety is if I'm up and I'm presenting against people who are higher level than me or like have more knowledge, at least. So it's just the fear of getting called out. But that's the only place I'd have anxiety. I don't have anxiety anywhere else. Critical thinking. We have a lot of great discussions over the last 5 weeks and covered many diverse topics. Which of these discussions was your favorite and why? The favorite discussion was definitely the fourth dimension type stuff where aliens are. I really loved that. That was pretty fun in my head, at least. We also discussed a few controversial continuous topics. Oh, the only other reason why I liked it was because it was so long and I was actually interested in the conversation. Which of these stand out to you and why? Thing theory definitely stood out to me, at least. Well, it's basically what the whole class was revolved around, and I think that telling us about thing theory is definitely like something you should know as a human being in the world that we created based off humankind. That is like a really crucial moment that I had when I was taking this class. It's another one. I guess like thing theory and objectifying things definitely take the cake. I can't think of anything else that would surpass it or even come near it. What is your position on theory? I'm guessing thing theory. I just said that I think it's a really crucial idea to know, subject to know, when you live in a world created by humans and you are a human. Lastly, what sci-fi movie, book, or short story would you recommend for next summer and why? So, I don't watch sci-fi movies all too well, but one I did watch as a child was Doctor Who, and I guess something you can draw into thing theory are the Daleks, the main antagonists of the whole series of Doctor Who. You can totally sum them up as a thing because they don't know what they're doing there and they don't know why they're wrecking, they don't know why they have all this technology. And then the Daleks totally don't know what the other people are, and those are things, and they're trying to objectify each other by conquering each other and stuff like that. That's what I remember, at least. But to find something on it, you have to search through the all 8 seasons of hour-long episodes. So if you want to do that, you can. Expectations for this response. Those are just expectations. Well, I guess I'm done. It was a pleasure taking part in your class, Mr. Micus. Professor Micus. Shit. Well, okay, I'm signing out. Bye.